Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another Car Talk with Chad and Poe here on Poe on the Go. And for those watching on Clearwater Chad's channel, welcome as well. How we doing tonight, Chad?
Good, Poe. Thanks for having me. Been looking forward
Excellent.
to this.
Thank you. I had a great time last time we did this, and thought we would just go ahead and expand on last time and see where it takes us. So,
Yep.
last time we talked about the different kinds of cars that we've had in our lifetime, and there's just so much more to it. I mean, I built tons of different vehicles that have multiple uses and things like that. Um, Here's one of my last creations that
Wow.
I built a few years back. Sold it off just a few years ago, but actual monster truck ride truck that I had there for a while. I was heavy involved with Monster Jam and monster trucks for a long time, so.
It's real
Um,
nice.
and give you an idea, there's a shot of me driving the Black Stallion monster truck that was at Ford Field here in Detroit.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've been in, like I said, I've been in and out of the sport for a long time. Worked with teams like Bounty Hunter and the likes. So it's, been
Excellent.
pretty heavily involved in the automotive world for a long time here. So let's see who all we got in here. Mandy Gonzalez, welcome. Jeff
Welcome.
D, peace and love. And it looks like Nasty Nathaniel showed himself out of the shadows for once. So, welcome
Yeah.
everybody. Tonight, I thought we'd jump in and talk about something that's near and dear to Chad's heart, and that's the electric and hybrid vehicles that are coming out. So, there we go. All right.
Yeah, that's great. That's true
Mak,
too, everyone.
Mak do Chagall. You still haven't told me how to pronounce that. So, Chad, why don't you tell us what vehicle you have, how long you've had it, and what your thoughts on it
Sure
are
thing,
so
Poe.
far.
Yeah, I have a 2018 Nissan Leaf. I bought it pre-owned. I bought it when it was 2 years old with 14,000 miles. I believe it was $20,000 or 20,500.
Wow.
And I've been driving it for 3 years. So 3 years without buying any gasoline, which I don't buy it for the lawn because I have an electric lawnmower too. So it's about 3 years since I don't buy any gas. And I mean, I love the car. It's not a top level car, like I said. With I just told you the price, and it's an older one. It's a 2018, so it gets around 150 miles per charge when the weather's warm,
Wow.
which is fine for my driving. But the newer ones get more. The newer ones you can get 200, and some of them are well over 300 miles per charge.
Wow. That's pretty good. Now, how do you charge yours?
Mine, I didn't get the extra 220 because you'd have to have an electrician come in and put a special.
Mhm.
I just have the it has like it comes with just like a cell phone comes with a little charger. It comes
Right.
with a charger to plug into a 110 outlet volt for anyone that lives in the USA. The 110 volt or
Okay.
115, whatever they call it.
Now,
So there's no. Yeah.
how long does it take to charge on 110?
Um. Well, I've never really gotten it down to zero. So say like today, I went and ran some errands. I have a house that I rent out. So I went to my other house and working, got some stuff for the house, and I did a live to a pizza place. I was running the thing all day,
Really?
and okay, so yep, all day, and not all day, but
Right.
whatever I needed to do. Not even thinking about what charge I have is enough charge. Got it down from 100% to I think 75%.
Wow.
From 100 miles, 150 miles to I think around 88 miles. It said when I exited, and I plug it in. If someone can plug in a cell phone, they can plug in an electric car. That's all it is a plug.
Wow.
Not the same plug, but
Right.
you
But,
plug it in,
right.
in the morning. It'll be charged. What time is it? 8 p.m.
Mhm.
It'll be charged before 6 a.m.
Oh,
So there's
okay.
really nothing to think about. If you could plug in a cell phone, you could plug in an electric car.
Right. Now, can you plug in at the stands, like the Tesla stands and things like that, or?
Well, not the Tesla ones, but I could plug into the regular ones.
Okay.
Which I think some manufacturers I just heard this past week or two that they are working on an adapter so you could use Tesla ones. I think Tesla wants an additional revenue stream, but all the ones I use in Buffalo, I go to all the free ones, and if I don't have my son, and if I have an hour or two to chill in my car, I'll just chill out in the car and get the free juice.
Right. That's pretty cool. Now, do they have like solar charging options for those, or is it that's something they don't have yet? He froze up for a second there. We'll say hello to Lady Veritas, and I'm glad that you're on holiday and you can see us today. Lolo, that's interesting.
All
Little
right.
old lady on wheels. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know every car, but I know that the new Priuses
Mhm.
do have an option to put one panel on the top, and you could add up to 4 miles a day, which doesn't seem like a lot, but
Hmm.
it's better than nothing. But okay, so I wanted to talk about the solar because I have solar on my house, and because people do like to talk about, oh,
Right.
blah blah, you're not saving anything because you have to, all the negative stuff. Well,
Yeah,
I
the
have solar
initial
on my
cost and
house,
everything.
and but I blacked out my account number and name and stuff. My bill, if you can see it, is zero.
Really?
So sure, I have a loan against the panels, but my bill is zero. So that's the same as paying an electric bill.
Um what will be your payoff time for the solar panels?
Oh, I took the biggest loan. When I take a loan out, I usually take the longest one and try to pay it off early in case I have a
Right.
bad year or two.
Oh, ain't nothing wrong
So
with that. Yeah.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
got, I think I don't know, between 14 and 16 years left on the loan.
Okay.
But it's roughly the same as if you were to pay your huge
You
electric bill.
right.
And so the other point is, I think it was between 25 and 33% of people that have electric cars do have the solar panels on their house. So it's the grid, in my opinion, isn't as stressed as people. It's
Right.
if people keep buying solar panels with their electric cars, we're
But
not isn't bad.
I think it also has to do with where you're at. Like in California, where they're advising people not to charge their electric vehicles because there's so many more per capita there as compared to Coldwater, Florida, or Buffalo, New York, or Detroit, Michigan. There's
Yeah,
so many differences there.
there might
Um,
be some hiccups and stuff, like you said.
yeah.
They're actually, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but they're actually coming out with some smart, not mine, but the smarter ones. When you do have the higher grade things, you could actually charge for things like you're saying, Poe. You could charge the grid in an emergency like that. You could put power back in the grid from your car,
Oh, okay.
and
Now,
they're
see,
they're working on that.
we've been looking into solar power and wind power here quite a bit. That's one of the things we want to do because, as you saw, I mean, I missed a live stream Sunday because the power went out. We just didn't have anything. I couldn't do a live stream. We didn't have Wi-Fi. We didn't have power. Got the generator up and running, but it was already too late by the time everything had set in to be able to go ahead and try to do the live stream. So let's see
Yeah.
here. Aaron's got a interesting question. How many cells do you lose each year?
Oh, from the car? I'm assuming he means the car because I was talking about the.
Well, that or the do
Oh,
you
okay. I
what's
could
the
touch on
longevity on
both.
the solar panels?
I could touch on both. I don't really dynamics too much. Hope I'm
Mhm.
not buffering here. Okay, so my car, like I said, is a 2018 Nissan Leaf, and the battery still goes to 100%.
Wow.
Like you have an old cell phone, it goes to like 90%. It still goes to 100%. It's got
Wow, that's
60,000 miles on it.
that's
So
excellent.
it's going to be a non-issue. I'm going to try to keep the car 3 more years till the loan's paid off. So there'll be a non-issue. I don't think about the degeneration at all. As for the
Excellent.
house, same deal. The company that I went through is still in business. A lot of them go out of business, but so there's a 20-year warranty on the panels. I think you have to pay for labor. One of those deals. I've
Wow.
had it on the house since 2018. Never had to call the company. The most I had to do is turn the inverter off and on when it says error or something.
And what year is your Leaf?
2018.
2018. I'm looking through. I'm on Facebook message place marketplace here, trying to find. Now, see, my son has the Nissan Kicks,
Oh, okay.
and he loves that little thing. So, all right. Well, this might work too. So let me go ahead and share that so everybody has an idea what we're talking about here
Okay.
with your car. So
Oh, cool.
there we go.
Yeah, that's the one.
and that's a 2018. Has 25,000 miles on it, and they're asking 22,995. Now that looks like it's from a dealership, of course, but
Yeah.
it gives us an idea about it. Now, how is it on room and comfort?
It's. I mean, I'm about 6 foot. I'm a pretty big guy. I have plenty of room to, I'm not tight in there at all. That's the exact model of mine actually.
Wow.
It's like, you could put, the seats fold down all the way. You could put a lot of stuff in there.
That's awesome. My son, he's that looks like it's about the same size as the kicks.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks really similar. The front end's just shorter, of course, because they don't have to have as long a front end. They don't have an engine out there, but
yeah, there's the charger right back there.
yeah, I saw that.
Yep,
Let me
yep.
see. They should be. I think I saw saw something from that. Let's see. Let's shrink this down. And I thought I saw something where it was where you could plug it in. It's interesting.
Yeah, in the front. Yep. It's
How
something. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
How's it feel when you're driving and you can't hear it?
It feels satisfying, and I'm an old school like you, Paul. I do like to hear the engine and all that stuff, but
Right.
there's something satisfying. And when I take a new passenger on, I usually can't hit the gas because it's not a gas car, but I hit the accelerator
Right.
all the way to show them. And they're like,
Right.
wow, this thing's like, some people say it's like a rocket or a spaceship or a plane. It has that whoosh sound. That's all you hear is the wind.
Right.
So
Let's see here. Got a couple of questions here. Let's see. Aaron, you can become Amish and do the horse and buggy, no power, no electric bill. Yeah, but you're still putting the methane in the air from the droppings. So I just saw they explained how to mock mirror dock egal. Mock mirror dock egal. Wind power is reliable if there's enough wind. And, that's one of the things here in Michigan because of the Great Lakes. We've always got steady wind going on here. Lady BB, hi. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for joining us. One with Cats. Hello. Aaron would like to know, how is the trunk space? Now, yours is a hatchback, correct?
Hatchback. So the seats do go all the way back. So you could get a reasonable amount of stuff for a small car like that.
Excellent. What's the longest trip you've taken on it so far?
Oh, I overshot it once and went to Saratoga Springs from Buffalo for a union event, and I left a day early, and I was a day late. There are limitations to those cars. I mean, the time after that, I did rent a car, but it's one of those things you want to see how much you could. But yeah, you can't take it long. Not the new ones you could. They can go over 300 miles, but not mine.
Right. Let's see. Anaphylaxis. Hello. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for joining us. Aaron, it's quiet. So that means I have to listen to the wife more. LOL.
You could turn the radio
up. Anna, Chad has the, let me pull.
2018 Nissan Leaf. Pull.
There we go. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I had the right picture up there. He has the 2018 Nissan Leaf, the zero emissions car. And we were just looking at some of them on Facebook Marketplace. So
the same car. Mine's white, but same exact car.
Yeah. That's pretty nice. Now, can you see the cursor moving around? Is that showing up?
I can see it. Yeah, I don't know if everyone else should be able to see it.
So for everybody, this is where you open it up to charge it. Is that the same for the home charging port and everything?
Yep, it's got the same. Yeah, and there's two ports. The smaller one is for 110 and 220, and it's just the 220 I think just uses more. And then it's got the 440, which I did. Places are like dealerships do finally this year have the 440, so you could plug it in.
Oh wow!
And you could charge it tops it off in 20 minutes.
That's good. That works out real good. How much does it cost to charge them now?
Everywhere I go, is free.
Really?
There's some stations that are starting to charge, so you do have to be careful. But all my regular spots are free. And like I said, if I don't have my son, I don't have much going on. A couple hours, I'll go somewhere.
You were you froze up there for a minute.
Oh, sorry.
The now I've ridden in the Tesla. I've driven a Tesla,
Oh, okay.
and the takeoff power is just ridiculous in those things. And just wondering how's that work with you?
Well, it's certainly not as good as the Tesla, but off the
Right,
line, I could beat anything except for like a souped up Corvette or a motorcycle. Any other car would just not even be, you know,
right.
yeah, it would
A
just
standard
destroy
car
it.
isn't going to be able to handle it. Matter of fact, we were talking about that earlier. Jeremy Clarkson on Fast Gear. Let me find it real quick here. They did the test on, I can't remember which vehicle it was. I think it was the Lotus, the electric
Yep.
Lotus versus the gas powered, and this was the reaction.
God almighty.
Wow.
Wave goodbye to dial up and say hello to the world of broadband motoring.
Now I find that interesting. You have the gas powered version up against the electric version, and the electric version just literally left it at the line. And let's see, Aaron saying that car is a chick maggot. Well, those little Lotuses, they're pretty popular. They're cute little cars. They're just not for full figured gals like me. So, but as I was saying, I got to drive one of the Teslas, and I thought it was a really interesting vehicle. Great ride. It had, like I said, it had a lot of takeoff to it, and to me, it just sounded so strange not to hear that engine. You could hear some of the electric whirring, the whirring kind of sound that you get from an electric motor, but my goodness, that was just to me that was insane how that car took off, how it felt, and how it handled it. It just literally grabbed the road and wouldn't let go. Yeah, anaphylaxis. Yeah, those Lotuses are tiny little supercars. They're fast as could be. The gas powered cars are fast as can be, but when the car only weighs 100 pounds, it doesn't take much to get it going. So, and
True.
then like with the electric motors, those things, what's crazy about them is it's a constant. Now, you don't do does it use a transmission, or does it not use a transmission?
I think it's called direct drive.
Okay.
So
And
that's the other thing. There's no, with a gas car, you're probably used to it, but you have that millisecond where it's not like that in an electric car. It just goes.
right. Yeah,
There's no,
those were the things I found interesting. Yeah, and we noticed, like in the car world, we noticed the difference when we went over from carbureted engines to fuel injection engines, how quickly they took off as compared to the carbureted engines. And it was oh yeah, I'm going to give you my opinion on the self-driving cars in a minute here, Aaron. Yeah. And yeah, one with cats. Yeah, I miss Top Gear also, but they do something called Grand Tour on the Amazon Prime channel. Chad, you freezing up there again?
yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right, bud. But are you kidding me? They're not notifying anyone?
Oh,
Oh my
no.
goodness. I here's what's hilarious is I find out daily people are being unsubscribed from my channel that I had nothing to do with, and they're sending me emails going, why did you unsubscribe me? I didn't. It's a YouTube thing. I'm sorry that it's happening, but the problem is that we can't. I can't do anything about it. Plus, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on right now with YouTube as it is. So we're going to wait and see if you haven't seen it. There's a Wall Street Journal investigative report about YouTube and the Google ad search and all that. Yeah, thank you, Kayla, for at least checking out. Patty B, let me see here. I have a mint stock 89 Nissan 240 SX, literally two grandmother owned, 100,000 miles, thinking of selling. Young guys like buying them, modifying them because they drift. Value. Lord, you're way out of my, let's see, 89 Nissan 240 SX.
It sounds cool to me. I don't know much about those myself.
Let me see here. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking. I see what you're talking about. It looks a lot like the Porsche. I think it was the 914 was the.
That's cool. I didn't know they still made the 240s and 89, but That's cool.
Let me get it in a bigger window
Yeah.
there so I could show everybody. All right. That's it. Good. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, those, I don't know a whole lot about the drift scene culture and all that, but I know that the kids that are into it, let's see, I'm trying to see if I can find any that are for sale. Let's see here. For sale. Oh, wow. Well, classics.com. Let's see here. We'll just go through some.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me put that on the screen.
I love the 80s cars.
And we'll pull that up. All right. This is classic.com. So 89 Nissan 240 SX. I don't know what CMB is, but apparently the average is around $17,000 for them. Lowest sale price 7,300 range. Highest price is 54,000. So I guess it would depend on number of miles and the condition it's in. Here's one that says bring a trailer. It's a 5-speed hatchback, 15,000, sold April 22nd. Here's one with 37,000 miles, automatic transmission, sold for 16,750. So that gives you an idea of what kind of prices they're going for. Here's one with 103,000 miles, 8,400. It looks like with these, the manual transmissions seem to sell for a bit higher. Here's one with 77,800 miles. It went for 12,700. So, the highest price I'm seeing them going right now is, well, here's one. Okay, it hasn't sold yet, but it has a high bid of 20,250. But this one looks like it's rigged out pretty good. Let's see.
Wow.
Yeah, that one's got a lot. It looks like it's got the ground effect kits on it. You can see the looks like the air cleaner for a turbo on there. So that one's been done out pretty good. That's a good question. That's something I would look into, start going through all the different auction and sale sites and see how they're doing. Let's see. Oh, Patty B, the topic we're, it's like every one of our shows. We start off on one topic, go on to a million. Right now we're talking about the electric cars, hybrid cars, and those kinds. As Chad has the Nissan Leaf, which is an all-electric car. Let's see. That's the hatchback. You have the coupe. The best I would advise you on it is start looking at the auction sites, see about this specific model that you have. You said you have the coupe. Let me see if I can find a coupe. Now it's usually the 2 or 4 door coupe. Let's see here. Standard for racing and drifting. Oh, okay. I like I said, I don't know a whole lot about that world. The most I know is the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is about as far as I know into the whole drifting world. Trying to look here. Okay. Trying to find a decent picture of one. Okay, here we go. Let's get this open new window. All right. So tell me if that's the vehicle. So we know. Hold on. That's about the biggest picture I can get, but that's the auction sites. I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, 2-door. Okay, so that should be about the right. Yep. Okay, so that's the vehicle that you had. You have. I don't know on those. That's for the most part, most of my experience until like after I got married, they has always been with the American made cars, hasn't been with a lot of the foreign cars. I have had a BMW X3, which I absolutely loved, but found out that once they start getting older, Joel McQuine, thank you for joining us. What's that, Mandy? A dumb question, B? I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't catch it either.
Let me see here. If you can expand on that, Mandy, let me know what you're talking about there. All right. From Aaron. Chad, take your car on the road. Let's see the top speed the cop can clock you at when you get pulled over. Just name. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Be funny.
So let's see here. It's our hero, the man, the myth, and the one and only Clearwater Chad.
Thanks,
All
bro.
right. Let's see. Mandy Gonzalez. Okay, here we go. Dumb question. How does putting turbo help an electric car? Okay. Well, we weren't looking. Patty B had asked about the 89 Nissan 240 SX. She, I believe it was her mother or grandmother had, and she was seeing what kind of value it was on it. And so I was pulling up pictures of some of them that they're out there. I was looking at an auction site, and they had one that looked pretty jazzed out, had the highest price going right now. And as I looked at it, I saw it had the air cleaner for the turbo. It's got a lot of body mods on it, things like that. Definitely meant not to be a grocery getter kind of setup. It's more of a let's get out there and see how fast we can burn the tires off the rims. Let's see. Sorry, hit the wrong button when. Okay, yeah, believe me, I know these
Yep.
big meat hooks. My typing sometimes is absolutely horrible. So let's see. The mid 90s go for more. Again, that's way out of my league. Now, I believe it was Aaron asked earlier. Thoughts on? Yeah, it was Aaron. Opinion on self-driving cars. I think that it's like AI. They're moving in way too fast, jumping the gun with it. I mean, as you see, they have one that a person was killed by one of these self-driving cars while they were doing the test runs with them. And the thing is that I think that it's a great idea and all that, but we're way too far from actually having them implemented and them being truly safe. I think there's a lot of work and a lot of research that needs to be done. I know that they're doing a lot of it not too far from here. They're doing a lot of that automated driving car testing and everything here in Michigan. As a matter of fact, I think it's about 10 or 15 miles from where I live. So it's, they're definitely moving forward with it. I just don't know how long it's going to be. The scary thing I do know is that the goal is at some point they're going to the goal is that they're going to have separate highways that are just for autonomous semi trucks. And what's going to happen is you'll have someone at, say, a warehouse or someplace like that. They're going to get the truck filled up. They're going to drive it to a location in city. They'll drive it in city, drive it to a location, and it will get loaded into all the trucks that are moving on the highway, autonomous driving trucks on their own highway dedicated just to them. And what's going on with that is you're going to see the end of truck driving as a career. And, I know things move forward and all that, but when you see something like that there's been a lot of people have raised families, and it's been one of those things that has literally kept this country moving for many, many years. And suddenly it's not going to be a career anymore. It's just going to be something where, the only time you'll see the semis is when they're on their own private highway and they're coming off to go to wherever they're going to.
Wow.
So I'm not a big fan of the autonomous driving stuff or anything like that, but we'll see how it goes. I want to see what happens when one of them loses a tire on the highway, has an engine blow or something like that, and they're all traveling, inches apart. And next thing you know, one of them has a major mishap and there's just a big pile up on that highway. How are they going to handle all that? So,
Oh, did you see they had a video self-driving car, and it was it wouldn't stop for an emergency vehicle, and it was a big issue. I forgot what it was.
oh wow, self-driving car wouldn't stop for emergency vehicle?
Yeah, it wouldn't stop for I think it was like ambulance or something crazy, or a fire
Let's
truck,
see
and they
here.
couldn't put out the fire.
Okay.
About a month ago, I heard about it.
Officer versus self-driving vehicle.
That could be it.
Yeah. Well, all of them I'm seeing right now are all reaction videos, so I don't
Oh,
want to
okay.
jump
Yeah,
in
it's
with that.
okay.
I'll get hit with a major
I
strike
didn't
on that
think
kind of
about it
crap.
until yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, Joel McQueen. Okay, this shows my age, but my dream car from my youth is a 1965 Rambler Marlin. Hmm.
Well, it's interesting.
There we go. 65 Rambler Marlin. Ooh. Yeah, that's definitely pimp mobile there, buddy. Let's get this opened up in the window. See how big it is. There we go. All right, present, share screen. Oh, the AMC Rambler. Yeah. I just saw someone
Oh,
did a
nice.
video on one of those where they took one that's been sitting that it actually started up and they were going to drive it home and it was needed a lot of work. Thing is, I like a lot of those old the AMC Ramblers. Those are some pretty slick cars. Um, let's see here, Patty B. I got my driver's license in the Ram. Oh, wow, that's cool.
Wow, that is cool.
Let's see here. Can I drive and be in passenger seat and let the car drive and won't get a DUI? I have no idea. I would think that no, because you're still in command. You know, anything can happen if you're in there and you've been drinking you've been drinking. You get in behind the wheel of an autonomous vehicle. What happens when you grab the wheel? Say you see something and you want to pull over real quick and or you're on your way home, you get the munchies, and next thing you know, you're driving it through the front of the local greasy spoon. So I would say that you could still be charged with DUI, OWI, DWI, whatever you want to call it. But I would say you could probably still get charged with that. That's you're still in some way in command of that vehicle. Kayla, we have a 2017 Z06 Watkins Glen Gray Beauty. Well, let's take a look. Let's see.
Interesting.
2017 Z06. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, the Corvette. Okay.
Oh wow.
Let me find a good, decent picture of it. All right. None of them are. What is going on with this stuff? None of them are coming in large. I want the large pictures. So I'll be honest with you. I like the new mid-engine Corvette. I'm not going to lie. I like it. I think it's a nice looking vehicle. Although I agree with a lot of people, I think that it looks a lot like the Ferrari. It looks like it took a lot of styling from the Ferrari. I think that right there is one sexy car. That last gen Corvette. I don't know if they're going to continue making them with the front engine or if they're going to start transitioning over to the mid-engine Vets. But I think that is just a beast-looking car. So, and problem for me is I just can't. I don't fit in them. So one of the guys I used to work with, he's got 04 Corvette, and that thing. We went out to lunch one time. You pretty much had to shoehorn me in and out of that car. So, great car. It's like to me, I would rather have the Corvette any day over the Viper, Mustang, Camaro, any of those cars. Where it would start, where it loses ground for me is the Ford Mustang GT, the Ford GT. Let's see here, Mandy. I've always wanted a '59 Studebaker Lark. I don't remember which one that is, but I have a friend who that's his particular passion. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, he does a lot of the Studebakers. And I know I've seen those in his shop before. So let me get that picture up real quick here. There we go. Let's see. Oh, black on black. All right. Let me see if I can find a black one for you. Not many pictures. Oh, that's too small. Let's see. Here we go. I want one. I'm trying to find one where it shows the front end of it. So there we go. That's better. Let's go to large. See what we come up with. There we go. All right, that should give us a better look there. All right, there we go. The 1959 Studebaker Lark, black in color.
Wow.
That's good. Oh, you goth, huh? So yeah, I was. The funny thing is when I was in high school, uh, it was before those kinds of the kind of genre came out for a lot of people. But I had I was the guy who wore the old olive drab military combat pants with the combat boots, and usually had Sex Pistols, Susie and the Banshees, any of the alternative or punk bands of the time. And I had bone straight hair almost all the way down to my hind end. They would have called me goth nowadays, but yeah, I'm definitely, I like the darker side of things. Black has always been pretty much my favorite color. Then, I mean, if you've seen with a lot of my stuff, I've done yellow has been something I've used quite a bit of, and that's simply because so many people use black and other things. So I switched over to the yellow there, and I see Boss Mama Goldie's in the house. Everybody, just remember we have the moderator queen, Boss Mama of SPTV. Goldie is here. Show some love to her.
Nice. That's great.
Nah, just creative. That's the thing. Is I really never liked popularists or top 40 or anything like that. I've always been into the alternative sides. Always like more of the darker side of things. So it's been, if it's popular and it's mainstream, I got no use for it. So, and Goldie, I'm having a great night. How are you doing, darling? Thank you again for being in here. I know that you probably got a couple other channels running at the same time. We found out that there were a couple other channels were running pretty heavy tonight, so we knew that things might get a little tight here for us. But the thing is that we're here to enjoy, and we're here to share with everyone and continue with this community. And you know what? If they can't see it live, hopefully they'll be able to catch it on a replay.
Absolutely.
Let's see some housekeeping real quick. We are almost ready to go with Xenu brand coffee. I'll be making an announcement pretty soon here on that, and we'll be moving forward with that, and hopefully it'll go well. And if you haven't seen it, make sure you show some love to the old cracker liquor himself, Mark over there, Mark and Claire. Make sure you show them some love too, folks. So what is let's see, a 1930-04 cabriolet. Now I gotta look at that. After I had retired, I had went to work at the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. And man, did they have some crazy cars.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting. I'll show you just a second here. So there is the 34 Cabriolet, the Ford.
Wow.
That's now.
It looks classy.
Forgive me if I'm wrong. Was that the Deuce Coupe that they talked about in the songs and stuff?
Oh, I don't know.
Because that looks like the standard hot rodder that a lot of people had back in the 50s and 60s, and you still see them running around now. So I don't know if that would be the Deuce Coupe or what, but I know that you can literally build one of those cars nowadays and not a single piece of it be original or from Ford. It's all aftermarket nowadays. There's so many kits out there that you can do.
Wow.
So let's see here. Deuce was a 32. Okay. Wow. All right. Yeah, I'm not real big on what those on what those different stylings were and everything. So let me show you. Now, see, my dream, and got to have one for a little while. Let's see here. There we go. Excellent. Why did it do that? I hate it. It does that. There we go. All right. Yeah, I'll show you my dream. One I absolutely loved.
Wow.
The Lamborghini Diablo. And to me, that's always been my favorite. After that, the Huracan I like a lot, but the Diablo I could actually fit inside of comfortably, and you don't get that with a lot of them. Deuce equals 32.
Yes, sure.
All right. So anybody else out there have either an electric or a hybrid, or have experience with them? Let's hear what you guys got to do.
Yeah, let us know, guys. Yeah.
88 tempo. Yeah, man, that's true.
Those are cool.
You're riding tempo. You're straight up OGing, man. So that's a nice. Yeah, I don't think I've ever even ridden in a Ford Tempo. So I remember.
I forgot about those. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom had she had the Monte Carlo, and then she had the Chevette. I wish we still had that Chevette, man. I would. Things you could do with those things. The Ford Tempos were the same thing. Not the Pinto was one they did a lot of stuff with. So my thoughts on electric cars, I think I'm going to wait a little longer. I want to see better mileage out of them. I want to be able to get further down the road than what we're getting right now. I know that Tesla has some new battery technology they're working on. Ooh, AMC Pacer. Yeah, those cool. My goodness. Yeah, we've all had some interesting cars in our past, haven't we?
Yeah, the first show was really fun when we talked about
Alex.
Hey, Alex.
What's going on, brother? Let me, Alex, I'm going to send you an email real quick here. So.
But yeah, we'll get their Pro with every year, though, they get a little bit of range, you know.
Right.
Like I said, mine gets 150. It's older. It's 18. Now the new Leafs get well over 200, 216, and the new Chevys, the cheaper Chevys, get around 250, if not more. Some of the Hyundais get over 300, and
yeah, they're get over 300. They're getting crazy. I want to see Sinclair C5S. I don't even know that one.
Same here.
So we've been basically back and forthing it. There we go, C5. Oh, yeah, that was that one. He showed us the three-wheeler. That's basically a battery-powered bicycle.
Yeah, that was funny, yeah. I forgot what name it was, yeah.
There's a guy who does a channel called Beards and Bikes. And somebody made them a Moto Combo replica out of a Honda Metro moped, and it just incredible. Let's see if I can find that Moto. Let's see here. There we go. And it was made to fit into the back of a Honda City. And that's what's incredible about this little thing, is that little motorcycle sitting in front of that car is the Moto Compo, and it's made to basically fold up so it can sit inside of the back of the hatch of that. So, all right, Alex. Yeah, we're here when you're ready, brother. So let's see here. Yeah, the Sinclair C5 was the pedal electric three-wheeler that he showed us last time. Let's see. I'm having too much fun with my combustion engine car presently. That's one of the big things for me, is the sound, the feel. You know, I don't have anything against electrics. I don't have anything against hybrids. Hybrids generally just don't feel like they have the power of a full electric or a full gas. I got my other half a t-shirt that says it's hybrid. It burns rubber and gasoline. There you go.
Nice.
Let's see. My best friend in high school had a Pinto. Yeah. Let's
cool.
see here. Let's see, if y'all were to make a recommendation on hybrid, what would it be? My personal experience with it, my wife had the Honda Civic Hybrid, and we sold that car at 285,000 miles, and it was still getting right around 48 to 50 miles to the gallon on the highway. Still drove great. To this day, my wife regrets selling it. So that's my only experience with owning one. What about you, Chad?
Well, in my opinion, which that's a good car, like you said, Civic Hybrid. But in my opinion, you can't go wrong with a Prius. You really almost can't make it get less than 50 miles per gallon. My last car, I still have it. It's on the road. It is a Prius, which I don't really drive it ever because I have the electric car, and so I let the battery go down, and now it's got to go to the shop. But
Wow.
you know, I've had no reason to do it because there's nothing wrong with the electric. You know,
Oh yeah.
except
Exactly.
for the one trip where I probably should have took the Prius. Saratoga. Well, other than that, I mean,
Yeah, that might have worked out better for
yeah,
you.
because they still talk about that. But
I
Prius in my opinion.
I remember leaving out from here and going to Nashville, Tennessee in that Honda Civic Hybrid. And what I did was I pumped up the airs right to the limit, pumped up the tires right to the limit on air pressure, and took off. And we at one point on I-75 southbound, we were doing 58 miles to a gallon of gas. It was
I believe it.
awesome. I drove all the way to Nashville and back, and I think we only had to we topped it off when we got home. I think it was crazy how little gas we actually used in that trip. Let's see, I have a 2023 Malibu Redline Edition, traded my Honda Santa Fe due to fuel prices. Yeah, that's another thing is what I find interesting is you're either so many of the big three are moving away from making cars, and they're going mostly on SUVs, crossovers, things like that. And I don't know many of them that get any decent gas mileage. So, it's either you're going straight up green and you're getting a hybrid, or you're getting a fully electric, or you're going with one of those big guzzling SUVs that are out there. There's no real middle ground. I see Chevy is now making an all electric truck, the Silverado. I don't know if it's out yet or not, but that one's supposed to be. We saw some photos of it earlier. Man, that's a sexy looking truck. Let's see here. Joel McCoy. I'm never going to get an electric car at my age. I can say that. As close as I'm going to get is my electric lawnmower. I don't even have an electric lawnmower.
We're glad you have the electric lawnmower, though.
Yeah. I mean, I've got like the works tool set and all that, but I've got the battery powered tools and things like that, but I don't no electric lawnmower. I still have we got over an acre of property here, and I zero turns away for me to go, and I've tried the electric zero turns. I was not very interested in them. One with cats. Chad, you were only a day late after leaving a day early.
And that's unfortunately a true story.
Yeah. Let's see. Hummer is coming out with an electric. Yeah, that's my understanding. They're not even offering in the combustion engine. It's all going to be electric. I see them around here all the time because they do a lot of testing of them here. So we see them all over the road around here. But the price tag, I think they start at like $125. I'm sorry, I'll be 55 in November, and I just don't see paying. When we bought our house, I think it's 14 years ago now, we bought this house on an acre of property. It's 1,800 square foot, tri-level, 4-bedroom. We paid $145 for it. So I'm not going out and spending, almost as much on a vehicle. Oh. Let's see. What the Hedes do I know about cars? I just wanted to listen to you crazy guys talk about your toys. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. You're welcome. And you know what? You got opinions. I mean, if you drive a car, you know about them. Let's see. Okay, might work for the Hummers were gas guzzlers. Yeah. I've been looking lately about the military HMMW VW, which is the military version of the H1. And a lot of guys are getting them and converting them over, getting them licensed, getting them titled and street legal and everything. I'd like to get in there, take a lot of the over heavy stuff that's in it. You can actually go in there and get conversion kits. You can take out the transfer case, put in a better transfer case, better drive system on them that isn't so geared so low. That's one of the big problems is that they're geared so low like the Jeeps are. That is, man. Oh, and we have a friend showing up here, Alex.
Hey, y'all, it's London Larry here, and it is 93 and sunny AF.
There we go, brother. Got the earbuds in and everything. So,
yes, sir.
All right. So let's hear about your automotive history, Alex.
Well, my automobiles go way back.
Really now, I would dearly love to hear what you've got that you have in your history there.
Oh, how's it going, guys? You all right?
Oh, doing excellent. It was so much fun last time, and everybody that saw it, been hitting us up. They had a great time with it. So we're, let's just keep making this a regular thing and just hit on different topics, see how it goes. So
I love it. One of my favorite memories was in Atlanta last year, September. A friend of mine has a big Harley bike, and we were driving through Atlanta, and I was on the back of his bike, and it was just one of those moments that's just, yeah, man, like America. Like, I love it. It was great. But no, I'm a big car. Like, I used to be a massive car person, not so much anymore. But my dad was super into cars. He used to be a professional go-kart racer, and he used to like build and fix cars with his dad. And so I've always been around cars and stuff. But in the UK, a bit different to the US, especially in London. There's no point in driving. Like I told you last time, right? Like I went, it was 12 miles or something in the middle of the night in an Uber, and it took an hour and a half. Like London, there is no point in driving because it's worse than New York. It's just there's nowhere to park. Nowhere has car parks. And if there is a car park, you have to pay ridiculous amounts of money for it. And it is just way quicker and easier to get the tube or a bus or whatever. And I luckily live quite close to central London, so I can get anywhere fairly quickly. So I don't have a car. Most people in London generally don't, unless you live on the suburbs, like in the outskirts. So yeah, you can learn to drive when you're 17 in the UK, and I did you have to do a theory test and then a practical test. I did my theory and did all my lessons and everything, and was about to do my practical, and I moved from the outskirts into central London, and I was like, there's just no point in doing my practical. Like, there's no point at all. So I didn't do it. And here I am now, many years later, thinking, I should probably do it because it's useful to have the ability to hire a car, when you're going away or whatever. But I did do lots of driving. I did a lot of go-karting, and it's legal to drive without a license here if you're, on private land, or I've got a license that allows me to drive if there's someone else in the car with me, for example. So I have driven, and I do really enjoy it. But yeah, it's awesome. Expensive as well here.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of you have to do a lot of fees, a lot of permits, things like that you have to pay for, and then you have like I understand that in London there's just so many taxes on it that it's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm just working it up here. So there's like I think it's a 200 or 300% tax on fuel, like on what you guys call gas. How many gallons are there in a liter? 4, right?
I think there's 4 liters in a gallon.
No, I think there's 4 gallons in a liter.
No, I thought a liter.
It says here 1 liter is 0.21 imperial gallons, right? So
it says here on the calculator, it says 1 liter is 0.264 gallons.
Oh, so it's the other way around. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many gallons are there in the liter? There's 4 gallons in a liter, right?
No, it'd be 4 liters in a gallon.
Okay, so no, I think it's the other way around. I think there's 4 gallons in a liter. The reason I'm saying this is because, to give you an example, right, fuel price in the UK is currently £2 per, or just under, per liter of fuel, right? Which is about $2.50 for a liter. to give you an idea of how expensive it is here.
Well, there's the conversion right there. It says 1 U.S. gallon is 3.78 liters.
Right. So if you
So,
do that, so $2.50 times 3.5 is
yeah,
3,789, like almost $10 a gallon for fuel here.
yeah,
Well,
it's
That's how
ridiculous. That's
expensive it
what.
is.
Yeah, it's and when I see like going to Canada, how their fuel prices are compared to ours. So
Yeah.
it's
There's
but
just
it's
a
really
real push
strange.
here towards like there's always been a high tax here on fuel anyway, but there's a real push to move towards electric cars and sustainable things. So they're trying to do that. So not only do we have to pay ridiculous fuel prices, there's also in London particularly, there's a thing called the ultra low emission zone. So if your car was made before about 2005, you probably have too many emissions, so you have to pay, I think it's like £8 or £9 a day to drive in that area, and that's like the suburbs, wider London zone. And then central London, there's on top of that a congestion charge, and you have to pay £12 a day
I
to
heard about
drive
that.
in
Yeah,
the central
wow.
London. So before you even take into account road tax and fuel cost, you're paying like £20 a day just to drive in London, unless you have a super green car. They're really discouraging it for sure.
oh yeah. I found it amazing. I don't know how it is there, but in California, you had the governor Gavin Newsom was saying that he wants to outlaw all combustion engines in the state of California by a certain time. But the problem is they don't have the infrastructure to handle the electric cars they've got now. I think it's awesome. It's a great way to think about it, going to go to the greener, you know, lifestyle and everything. But we just don't have the infrastructure right now to handle it if
That's the
everybody went
thing.
green now. So
Yeah, that's the thing.
But
You have to
yeah,
couple it with
I
the
mean,
infrastructure, like adding in electric charging points and stuff. You see them everywhere in London now. Like they are putting the infrastructure in so that they can meet the deadline. Right.
yeah,
Sorry, Chad.
oh
go
no,
ahead, Chad.
sorry, I didn't want to cut you guys off either, so sorry about that. But if
Jump in.
everyone, not to beat to death, but like I said, 25% of people, in my opinion, forgot what the exact number is, have electric cars do have solar panels, like myself. So if more people just did that, maybe
In America, that probably
yeah,
makes more sense, but in London, particularly, it's very dense, very old buildings that also have
okay,
multiple occupancy, lots of apartment buildings, for example. So, if you were to live in London, it's very likely you don't have a big enough floor plan, like print on the top of your
okay,
building to have
Right.
solar, especially if you're sharing it. So, there's a lot of buildings that are like, what would have been a house for one family in Victorian times would have been split into an upstairs and a downstairs flat for like two bedrooms or whatever in each one. And so if you've only got one roof but you're the bottom flat, like it just makes it really
yeah,
complicated. It's a lot
okay.
harder to do the solar
Oh
thing
yeah.
unless you're out in the country.
Oh, I didn't
um
know that at all there.
yeah, but we do have, I think, I don't know if it's in the world or Europe, but we have one of the highest amounts of renewable energy. Like we have loads of offshore wind farms, and it's something like 80 or 90% or something of our energy comes from renewable sources. And they're trying to push even more towards that. So, we're getting there. But it's just funny because without wanting to go into the whole climate thing, like the government are all saying we need to, meet this target by this date. And then they're putting in infrastructure and laws to outlaw like combustion engines, for example. But that doesn't come into place until after the deadline that we need to meet the temperature
Right.
climate target.
Yes.
And that's one of the things we had. One of the big problems, like it says here, the issue in Germany is barely any charging stations in the powerful car lobby. That was one of the big problems that Tesla first ran into when they started we're not doing actual dealerships. You're going to buy directly from us. We'll have repair places and things like that. And you had all the dealer lobbies, which have this huge stranglehold on almost every state in this country. And it was a bit of a problem. But I think with groups like Carvana coming in, those different kinds that weren't actually doing dealership kind of things, you buy the car online, they deliver it to your home. You're not actually going to a dealership or anything like that. And then with the pandemonium that happened, a lot of people started buying online, never going to a dealership. So it made a big difference in that. So the car lobbies, it looks like they're coming down. Ford has been talking about possibly doing away with a good deal of their dealerships. They're finding just these huge, horrible markups that they're doing on vehicles. Say if you wanted one of these new Ford Broncos and it had a sticker price of $30,000, you went to the dealership, you can expect to pay anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 for that same vehicle, and they're doing it because of market downturns and things like that. It's crazy. And as you
The
were talking about,
lifespan
go ahead.
sorry, go on.
Let's go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I find it really interesting hearing you guys talk about the lifespan of a car because obviously the UK is much smaller than the US.
Yeah.
And two things to consider. One, life in London is very different to life in the countryside in the UK. I grew up in the countryside, moved to London, so I understand both. And things like electric cars with the range. Yeah, if you live in London, makes sense. But if you live in the countryside and your nearest town is a 20-minute drive away, then it becomes a bigger challenge to have the whole electric, infrastructure there. But lifespan of a car is interesting because in the UK, generally, if you're buying a car secondhand, if it's got 100,000 miles on the clock, then it's generally considered to be the end of its life. Like you don't want to buy a car that has more than 100,000 miles on the clock. Like that's it, it's done. And a good used car would have 20 or 30,000 miles or whatever. Like 100,000, you'd find it hard to sell that car onwards. Whereas in the US, like that's nothing, right?
Try
and
finding them without 100,000 miles.
Right.
Yeah, but think about it, the size of our country, it would be really hard to do that in any amount of time. And I don't know if it's because of the number of miles. It's probably more to do with the age, because to do 100,000 miles on a car in the UK is going to take you longer than in the US.
Wait a
because
minute.
you
What
guys
if you're
do
driving to
6-hour
Benidorm?
drives.
Huh? I watched all 4 seasons of Benidorm, and it seemed like a lovely place. So,
Well, this is the thing, right? If you jump on the Eurostar, then yeah, drive around Europe, and that's a different story. But cars, if you've got 100,000 miles on the clock, that car's probably 10, 15 years old, because you just don't do that many miles here, even if you're driving up and down the country. My dad has a job at the moment where he has to drive a lot. He's on the road all the time. And he'll maybe do, 1,000 or 2,000 miles a week or something. But that's because it's his job.
Wow.
I just saw my wife jumped in there.
Oh, nice.
So
Hey.
here we got Lady Veritas. I had what we call a housewife's car here in England, but it doesn't stop me from blasting out Leonard Skinner as I go through town.
Is that a
Amen,
Ford
sister.
Galaxy by any chance, Lady Veritas?
Oh, let's hear. Let's see. Freebird.
That's
the
considered
local
a typical like mum car here. a Ford
Oh, is it
Galaxy.
really?
Yeah.
Let's see. Jen, thank you for joining us. And I got your email. I will be responding to you. It's just, you know how it is. Everything's just crazy. Poet's in here. Thank you for joining us, Poet.
Hey, Poet.
Anaphylaxis, in 2021, I was car shopping. Audi had a $20,000 dealer markup on their electric cars. I don't know how it is now, but I know when I got my BMW, I was looking at the Audis as well. And everyone I talked to said, make sure you check the transmissions on those Audis if they're pre 2018. And this was years ago. But they seem to have had some bad transmission problems with those. Hopefully they've got that fixed. But every one of them I saw that was up for sale, and they would have few miles on them, be a few years old. But as soon as you start looking into it, it was a bad transmission in it, and it was going to cost you $10,000 to get that transmission replaced. Let's see.
I believe it.
Is Mandy still in the chat, by the way? Mandy, if you're still here, drop a message in the chat, because I will reply to that. But I'm not going to answer it until she's here.
Right there you go. Did get your post. Oh, yes. Did you get your post?
Did she just post that just now, or is that the one?
It's pretty recent.
Yeah, it was a minute ago. I'd say it's actually less than a minute.
Then yes, I did, Mandy. If I can take the floor for a second, guys. Mandy very kindly sent these things, and Mandy, I will do a video on my channel. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I'm full screen. Wow. Okay, the pressure is on.
Don't worry about it. Go
ahead. I'm gonna do a video about this on my channel. But Mandy made, you know how like Marilyn does the crochet bobble outfits. Mandy made this really cool little decoration with my logo and name on it. And then she also made a Team Mike one, which is awesome. So firstly, thank you, Mandy. Secondly, thank you for your treats. Mandy also put in the little box some Oreos and another American biscuit, which is really cool. So thank you for those. Hey, Poe's got one too.
Yep,
Nice.
she got
I
one
love
for
it.
me, and then the SPTV logo. I'm actually going to be doing a video on it. So, Mandy, I still need to get that link from you, hun, so we can get everybody knowing.
Yeah, send
you're
us
at.
both a link because I'll promote you for sure.
I'm
And
trying to
Mandy wrote,
find
I'm
the
not going to
right
read it
spot
out, but she
behind
wrote
me
the
here.
sweetest letter as well. So
Oh
thank you
yeah,
for that, Mandy.
yes, it was. That was. Thank you so much, Mandy. I'm going to be doing a thank you video on that. But I'm trying to find out the perfect spot to put them because I want them behind me so everybody can see them, and I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put them.
Nice.
And I don't want to get them dirty in the meantime either. So
I think that like earring.
I can jam that.
Nice.
I can jam it. Let's see.
Yeah, they're cool.
Get my big floppy ears in there. So. I ain't ashamed. I'll wear some.
I love it.
Nice.
So yeah, Mandy, thank you. And if anyone is interested in getting your own one, I believe Mandy makes them and sells them, I think, but we don't have the link. So send us the link, Mandy, and we can.
Well, she was telling me in her email the Team Mike. The Team Mike ones. She's been okay, excellent. She says the website is up, but not ready to go yet. And she says the Team Mike ones, if I remember correctly, that she is the money's going towards Mike and helping with all of his medical and everything. So correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I understood it. So it's great. I'm glad to see that Mike's doing much better. He looks great. He sounds great. So, and talking with everyone who's been involved with it, I know what kind of treatments he's going through, and it's not easy stuff. So he looks great. So it means it's taking hold on it. So, yeah, Mandy, put up your email in the comments there, so that if anybody wants to get hold of you about getting them, that way it might be quicker to do it that way.
I don't think the chat will let you post emails and links. But
really,
yeah, it usually censors it out unless you're a moderator. So Mandy, if you email one of us, we can put it in.
Let's see here. There we go. And Goldie, if Goldie's still in it, well, you're a moderator now too. Did you see that?
I am.
Yeah, Goldie asked me to add you the other day, so
I've got the power.
Yep, there you go. And like Mandy says, all the money from the Team Mike ornaments are going to Mike for that. So that's good.
Nice.
But
yeah, sorry, that was a bit of a tangent from the car chat.
No, that's great.
Okay, Lady Veritas, God, I don't even know a panda.
Oh, is that the car that she had?
Oh, okay. A panda, huh? I don't even know what that is.
I'm just googling it. That is a pretty mum car. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not as classic as the Ford Galaxy.
Wow. What is that? A Renault Panda?
Panda car.
Fiat Panda.
A Fiat. Ah. Well, there we go.
Trying to find a good, decent size image. Boy, that looks an awful lot like those Yugos. The older ones do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wow. There we go.
I have a funny car story. So, it's not really
ahead.
car, but it's car related. So, there's a theme park in the UK called Legoland, and it's all about Lego, right? And you go as a kid, and I went as a kid. And one of those things that you can do is you can drive a little car around a little Lego track, like an actual, like it's kind of like a go-kart, not fast, but it's like a Lego looking car, and you drive it around at like 4 miles an hour. And as a 8-year-old or whatever, you're thinking, this is cool, I'm driving, it's amazing. And I remember it was a really sunny day. Wow, is that the Panda?
Wow, that's cool.
That's a car. But it was a really sunny day, and I was driving around, and it's meant to simulate like a normal road. So there are traffic lights, and I saw the red lights. So I came up and I stopped at the red light, and I was sitting there thinking, God, why is it like it's been red for ages? Okay, I'm just going to go anyway. And I was looking around, where is everyone else that was on the track? I was like, I'm on my own. This is great. I'm like having the best time. And when I came out afterwards, my dad was like cracking up with laughter. He said, Alex, it was so funny. Everyone was queuing up behind you and waiting for you to go because the light had been green for ages. You couldn't see it because of the sunlight. And I was like, oh, I've got the whole track to myself. This is great. I just held everyone up.
Yeah, I'll give you an interesting one. I was on duty driving down the main road in our city is Jefferson Avenue, and our mechanic had pulled up beside of me as I'm driving down the road, and we're just messing with each other, stupid guy stuff, just yelling obscenities at each other and stuff like that. I come up to a red light, put my foot on the brake, and next thing you know, I hear what sounded like a gunshot going off. Everything went dark. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was coughing my head off. My arms were burning and they were hurting. I just didn't know what was going on. Next thing I know, the mechanic is at my door pulling me out of the car. And I'm like, dude, what happened? And he goes, you pulled up to the red light and the airbags went off in the car.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? It was in the Chevy Impala, the police version Chevy Impala. What had happened was one of the other officers who had used it in the shift before me had gone over a very bad set of railroad tracks and actually dug the front end, and he had gotten it so close that the airbags should have went off on him, but it didn't actually activate them. Me driving down the road, hitting all the potholes and everything. That's Michigan State Bird is the pothole. And next thing you know, I pull up at the red light. The car dipping forward was just enough to set those off. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I always wondered what would happen, how it would feel to have those airbags go off. Okay, I've got the email now from Mandy. Excellent. I'm going to post that up in just a second here.
I managed to crash a go-kart. I used to go go-karting every week with my dad and brother, and because he was pro, so we used to do it all the time. And we were in Canada visiting my auntie and cousins who live over in Canada, and we went to a go-kart track, and it was great. Really hot day, lovely, had a great time. But I managed, first time ever, to flip the go-kart upside down. Like I rolled it. And I still to this day don't know how I did it, but I remember like going really fast around a corner. I just overdid it. I must have hit a bump or something. I remember flipped it upside down, and I managed to crawl out. And my dad, I'll never forget it. He was at the back of the queue because I was just behind him, and then I crashed, and then he got round. And he saw me get out of the car, and he jumped out of his go-kart, like ran across the track, like, my boy, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm fine, I'm great. Jump back in and go and enjoy the race, Dad.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
It's being able to flip those, because those go-karts generally have like the extended crash bars on the sides and everything. You must have really been pushing that thing to get that to flip over.
Oh yeah, I was like, it was one of those things. My dad was terrified, but also proud of me because you have to try really hard to do that to go, because they're so low to the floor as well. How I managed,
it's not like driving a Renault Robin, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny.
Let's see here. Airbags going off in your face feel like someone slapped you silly directly from the front. Yeah, I mean, between the absolute shock of the airbag going off, that explosive noise, the powder everywhere, and then the airbag right in my face, it was, I've never been in anything that disorienting in my life.
Wow. I crashed a car once in a car wash.
How did you manage? What?
It was an old school car wash. No, really, I was working at a dealership. At the time I was like one of those people that write the estimates for the collision work. Anyway, so after the car's all done, it's all done in the body shop. You bring it through the car wash. I don't know if I didn't know how to do it or it was an old car wash, but instead of going straight, I veered to the right. All of a sudden, I couldn't see, and I had to abandon the car. I came out of the car wash all sudsy, and they had to repair the car again.
Wow.
It was pretty funny. They still talk about it at the dealership.
Oh, I bet. My nan once crashed her car, and she said it was quite funny, actually. It was in a car park, and she managed to hit, I think it was 5 cars. She hit 5 stationary cars, and she said that she hit the accelerator instead of the brake and just managed to bump a car that bumped a car that bumped a car.
Wow.
How did you
Wow.
manage that? There was no one else involved. You were on your own.
I found the footage
That's
of
funny.
Chad's wreck there. So let's see.
Oh no.
Oh, I think I've seen this. This is so funny.
These happen
Oh,
so
yeah.
many times. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Look
oh my
at that.
god.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
I told you about the car my dad has, the VX220 Turbo. It's kind of like a Lotus Elise, but sexier. He because it's got quite a big bite on it. It's quite a fast car, and it's like a really sensitive accelerator. It's a race car, right? Whenever he's had to like hand the car over to the mechanics, or like it gets picked up at the side of the road or whatever, normally they have to drive it onto the back of the truck for insurance and all of that. But he won't let anyone do it. He always drives it onto the truck himself because things like this happen. And with that car, because it's carbon fiber, if anything goes wrong, you have to replace the whole shell of the whole body, and that's like thousands and thousands of pounds. Which is mad. Someone actually reversed into him. I was in the car at the time. We're in a car park, and someone just didn't see us and reversed into us at like 2 miles an hour. And any other car, you could have just hammered out the dent, but it crushed the whole front corner, and it's carbon fiber. So we had to get the whole front shell of the car replaced, and it was like, £5,000 or £10,000 or something insurance job because it was such a big repair. Because you can't repair carbon fiber as easy.
No, I've been doing some work with carbon fiber for getting things ready with the laser to do some things with carbon fiber, and it's ridiculous how hard it is to work with that stuff. It seems like it would be easy, but no, it's going to be a real pain in the butt. As one of the big problems they're having now with the lasers is trying to figure out a way to actually burn carbon fiber without destroying it. I'm trying to find a good picture. When I was working at the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan, they brought in there we go. This is one right here. They brought in a brand new Ford Mustang GT.
Nice.
And that thing sat so low to the ground. We're only talking just 2 to 3 inches of ground clearance from that front spoiler there. And so they literally came out with sheets of plywood, all different kinds of things. They had to raise the ramp, change the angle on it so it wasn't so steep, just to get that car off the trailer and into the museum. It was crazy how that stuff worked. And I can understand what your dad's talking about, with that kind of car. You can't just let anybody, get behind the wheel and try to move it. Let's see here. I'm trying to look at it. Oh my goodness. My prom dance partner rolled over my toes by accident. The shock of his life. I was fine.
My nan did that once. My cousin was over from Canada on a holiday. Luckily, it happened at the end of her holiday, but my nan drove over my cousin's foot and broke her toes and everything, and it was obviously painful, but we all laughed about it. It was quite funny, and my nan was like, I only see you once every 5 years, and I drove over. So now there's always an ongoing joke whenever my nan gets in the car. It's like, oh hold on, are we all standing back?
Yeah.
I was parked in front of the police department. I'd just gotten in the car, and it was one of those things where somebody had walked up and pushed the mirror forward. You know how the new cars have the mirrors that can flip forward and backward. And so I reach out and I'm trying to adjust the mirror, and suddenly there's this horrible pain in my hand. And I look, and there's this old Cadillac had come by. Their mirror had clipped my hand and broke the mirror off the police car. It broke my hand all the way across, all 4 bones across on the hand. And they just kept going. So I put the car in drive, chase the car down, go pull them over. I go walking up. It's an 83-year-old woman, and she could barely see over the dash of the car. And I'm like, ma'am, do you not, you just hit not only a police car and kept driving, but you also hit my hand while I was adjusting the mirror. And she looked at me and she goes, what's your damn hand doing out there in the first place? Yeah.
Excellent response.
Yeah, man, crazy stuff. Crazy. How people react. I've been to that museum. We used to go to Dearborn and Frankenmuth every year when I was growing up. Oh yeah. The Henry Ford, I used to love that place till I worked there, and I learned some truths about how it's run, and I was not very happy with it. I left them there pretty quickly once I found out how things go. Let's see. Danny also says Chad's logo is immaculate hair, sunglasses, and a Hawaiian shirt.
Thanks, Danny.
Last night it was Denver Steve-O, Chad, Mark Fisher, and me. Well, the night before last, all wearing Hawaiian shirts on the Chad-a-thon. So
I'm watching it on playback. I'm about halfway through.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It looked great.
Yeah, the Cracker Liquor jumped in for a little while.
I saw that.
Let's see here. Yeah, his new logo.
Nice. Here I've got a picture. I was telling you about my dad used to have a Marcus. My grandfather had a Marcus car. This is a picture of my grandfather's car at like a Marcus meetup.
Wow.
Pretty cool, right?
Now, which one is his?
I think his is the red one next to the yellow one.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I was like, there's 3 red ones there. Those are nice looking. Those almost have like that old school Jag kind of look to them and feel.
Yeah, I think it was, if I remember rightly, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the chat, but I think the guy who designed the Marcus was then bought out by Jaguar or something, and he designed the E-Type afterwards. I believe it's the same person.
Man,
I might be wrong, but
that's pretty cool. You guys have those clubs over there where they try to keep the cars as immaculate as possible and try to keep them as stock as possible, and then they actually have them judged at the events. Have you ever made it out to any of those?
No, my dad is keeping his VX220, I think, for that reason. So it's considered a classic car. I mean, I've been to them to like see them and stuff, but haven't taken part. But yeah, they look really cool.
What do they call those? I can't remember what they call them.
Usually like a classic car club or a classic car competition.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what they called the actual events. But I've seen some of those. I've seen them like on Top Gear and a few other programs from the BBC. Can you see the ornaments I made for Kelly when she was on the jet?
Yes, I saw that. They looked awesome. And yeah, I met up with her a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying that you sent her some as well. So it's awesome, and thank you for sending them. They're really, really cool.
Let's see, Danny. I love that sleek look on swooping hood. Great photo. Yeah, those you just can't beat those old classics. Some of those are just the artwork that goes into them. Shaped, just similar to the Jaguar E-Type.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up after the stream. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy that designed both cars, but they are from the same sort of era for sure.
Trying to find him. I actually learned how to do leading on a car. I'm trying to find his name. He passed away a few years ago. You'd see those old classic cars that just had the incredible looks to them, and this guy was the king of doing the actual leading, where they would take big bars of lead and they'd take a torch and they'd heat them up, and then you had wooden paddles and you had to smooth the lead in, and then you go in and sand it all out. And I watched him for a week straight at one of the local body shops that was near Metro Detroit. Just sat there for a week straight, just learning directly from him. And it was incredible what the guy could do. No body filler, none of that garbage. He used lead to actually conform these cars to the way he wanted them to look. So
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're talking cars that weighed 8,000 pounds to begin with. So what a little bit of lead hurt them,
Yeah, so. Precisely. Well, look, guys, I'm going to have to love you and leave you because it is almost 2:30 here, and I kind of need to stay on a vaguely UK time zone this week because of work stuff. But thank you for having me in.
We'll have to get together and do a video call this week sometime. So
let's do a Four Horsemen as well. I'm down.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely wanting to get that. We need to get Doug on board. Maybe we can do it this Sunday if you guys are up for it. Then
I can't do this weekend or the next, but I'm free after that.
Sorry. Shameful.
Sounds good.
But we can work out a time. We'll make it work.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for joining us. Love the stories.
See you soon.
All right. Bye-bye. So,
nice.
yeah, everybody make sure you say good night to Alex there. Good friend. We love having him on. He's just got some great content. He's a good guy all around. We need to find out about how that dating game thing is going for him. That I forget who it was. It
Oh
was
yeah, I
saying,
only heard about that through the grapevine. I must have missed whatever stream he said that on.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm getting ready. I'm starting, going to be starting Monday. I wanted to start it earlier, but the problem is that we just couldn't get it done because the power outage and everything set me back so much. But coming up, and it's going to be starting Monday, 6 p.m. I'm going to be doing a whole new, basically what I'm going to be doing is a daily broadcast every day for 30 days straight, Cop Talk with Chief Poe. And I'm going to be doing basically all I'm going to be doing is we're going to be going over videos that relate to law enforcement, car chases, courtroom stuff, Karens, anything. If the police will be involved with it, that kind of things, I'm going to be reacting to it and giving you my personal viewpoint on it from over 30 years in law enforcement, all the way up from a rookie probationary officer to chief of police, and my thoughts from the different levels of it. So we're going to be doing that one episode a day, 6 p.m. daily for the next 30 days, starting on Monday. So it's going to be interesting. And then for those of you who've been wanting to see it, yep, I'll be wearing one of my old uniform shirts while I'm doing it. So
Nice.
Let's see here. Lady Veritas, hey Chad, how about a chameleon for your logo? They are known for their ability to change colors, degrees of brightness.
I'll consider it. Nothing's off the table.
You got that fancy logo though, with the palm trees and the ocean and all that. So, take a look. And if anybody's got any ideas on my logo, if you want to throw out a design idea or a design of your own, and you want to see how I think about it,
that's cool.
Okay, let's see here. He was told later and freaked what might have happened. Also, my dad was his coach. When he rang the door to check, I got a little frying. Okay, didn't make it better. Okay, but yeah, if you guys got any ideas on logos and stuff like that, I'm working on some other things right now. Like I said, I've got the motorcycle trips I'm trying to put together. I'm talking with the different manufacturers of motorcycles, and basically what I'm going to be doing is, I'll see if I can pull a map up real quick for you guys. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, if I can get the map to load. All right, so we'll close that off and we'll go ahead and put this up here. I'll give you guys an idea of what it is I'm looking to do. So if you can see my cursor right here, what I'm going to be doing is starting right up here at the northernmost tip of Vietnam. And this is going to be riding motorcycle only. Going to make my way down to my first stop, which is going to be Hanoi, Vietnam, and spend the night there, maybe a couple of days. Make my way down the coastline to Dong Hoi. And then I'm going to make my way on around to Ho Chi Minh City. And from there, I'm going into Cambodia. I'm going to ride that all the way up to the capital of Laos, which is Vientiane. And then I'm going all the way up to the northern border with China there in Laos, making my way back down, coming over into Chiang Mai, Thailand, coming across to Udon Thani, down to Bangkok. I wish they would quit doing that. To Bangkok, I'm going to make my way on down. I'm going to end up spending a couple days in Songkhla in southern Thailand. And then from there, I'm going to be making my way down into Malaysia, which hopefully I don't get malaria this time. I had a great time with that last time. I'm going to go to Ipoh, then to Kuala Lumpur, then make my way all the way down and end it at the Singapore Strait in Singapore. And so we're looking at a few days of doing that. And it's going to be, I think it's a total of 6 countries I'm going to be heading through, all on a motorcycle trip. And so really looking forward to doing that. We're just trying to find out which company is going to end up sponsoring us for the motorcycles. So, Chad, you want to go?
Oh, I don't know if I could handle motorcycles. I told you the story about I crashed the car in the car wash. You don't want me riding a motorcycle there, Bo.
Well, we can find you a tuk-tuk. So, that's but I've got some great folks that are also going to be joining me. I've got from when I was chief of police in Luna Pier, I have a gentleman that lives in Luna Pier that he is originally his family's from Vietnam, and he still has a lot of family over there. So been waiting to hear back from him. Hopefully he'll be able to join me on the Vietnam leg of it. Got a couple other people that are going to be joining me once I get into Thailand. They want to do the entire ride from the very northern tip of Thailand down to the Malaysia border. And then I've got a couple of folks that live in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia that will be riding with me from the Malaysian border down to Singapore. And then, of course, we'll wrap it all up in Singapore, right there on the Gulf of Singapore. And what I'm wanting to do is I'll be doing recorded content, edited content as well, but I'll also be doing daily live streams from the ride while I'm doing it. Let's see here. Idea of incorporating a snake somehow. Well, snake, or I can always, crocodiles, alligators. That's a picture from probably about 15 years ago when I was training local law enforcement, animal control, and also some federal agencies in capture, control, and how to take care of large, aggressive, and venomous reptiles. So it was fun. Let's see here. Let's see, Danny. I had the 03 Jaguar S-Type in 2004, but the starter gave me so many issues. Beautiful car, pain to maintain. I don't remember which one that one is. Let me see.
It sounds cool.
Let's see here. Okay. Oh, I know that one. Yeah. I never liked that one. For some reason, it just didn't click with me. I'm getting a picture up here, folks. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Excellent. Present, share. And there we go. There's the car he's talking about. I never my problem with them is that I believe that's when Ford took over, and the back end of it looked like a Ford Taurus.
Well, there was it's funny you said that, because when Ford owned them, there was the lowest model. They did use a 3-liter Taurus engine in those cars.
Man, my son. Ooh, narrow what down, Lady Veritas? Throw that up in the comments for me.
Yeah.
Now, my son had the Jag. I believe it was a 97 XJ. He had the XJ with the which was the one with the extended back seat in it, so you could use it as it was for like a limousine. Yeah, for the people who had money. Let's see here. I'm trying to find one that shows. Cool. But that was the one, to me, that was always my favorite type of Jaguar, was the XJs. I'm trying to find. Nice. Daggone, all these pictures come in small. Let's see here. Well, now we're not going to be able to. All the pictures, they're coming in half the size. Let's see. XJ8 is 2004. Okay. The streamlined cars are kind of boring. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like flashy. I like the muscle cars. I love that big beefy look to them. With the Jags, I love the double headlights side by side with that grill. As I said, one of the things I'm working on right now is I have a Ford Model T. I have the truck cab. I'm going to be putting that on to a Suzuki Samurai frame with an Isuzu diesel engine mounted to a Chevy transmission and transfer case. So not only is it going to look crazy, but it's going to be 4-wheel drive, and with that diesel engine, that thing's probably going to get some great mileage to it. So
Nice.
that's I always love doing just crazy exotic stuff. Problem is, when it comes to a lot of these cars, the exotic costs so much money to work on and repair and everything. And Gary Shields, what's up, brother? Did they just end over in Mark Claire and Amy's live stream over there? So, Gary, tell us about some of your car experiences, what your first car was or your favorite car that you had. And folks, let me know about your first car or your favorite car. What what gets your blood pumping pretty good when it comes to cars. Let's see, might look boring to some, but it's not boring to drive. I mean, all of the Jags, until Ford took them over, I always thought Jags were just amazing cars. My wife has always been in love with the XJ series. She loves it with the Hunter Green, I think it's called, with the tan interior. Absolutely loved it. And then our son ends up buying one. But sad thing was, those things it was rear wheel drive, big snowstorm, totaled it out. Only had it for about 6 months, but he really dug that car, and it was beautiful. So, Chad, what's your favorite car?
I'd have to give a pretty boring answer. Probably any one of the Teslas.
Really?
Yeah, just because you're so efficient and
Right. No, I mean dream car, like muscle car or something like that. What's
if I had to pick, probably one of the late 70 Lotuses, like we were talking about the other night.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are nice looking cars too. And Anaphylaxis says it was British Racing Green. But here in America, we call it what we want. All right. Peace and love. Way off topic. Shall I look for some UCC black coffee? I'm in Hawaii and send it to you. Actually, one of my stores, it's called One World Market in Novi, Michigan. The owner got hold of me today and says, I have 2 cases in stock. But if you want to send me some, I'm always willing to take it. Are you able to get it there in Hawaii? Are they? Because I know they've been having problems with shipping. So let's see. Anaphylaxis. My current favorite car is a 2018 F-Type Carpathian gray supercharged. Wow, we got to take a look at that.
Yeah, we got to see that.
2018 F-Type. Well, F-Type. Let's see. Okay, they're not showing. Okay. It's that, man. Those new Jags. Those are some slick cars. I like their SUVs, all of them. Let's see. To me, Jaguar just means excellence. That's the way I look at them. I think Jags are just beautiful cars. Let's see. There we go. And there we go. Is that what you're talking about? Let me get my chair straightened out here.
Nice. That is cool.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those driving around. Those and the BMW. I forget what that model's called, but they have the sports car. Capri. That's good. Let's see here. Lady Veritas, please put a picture of a Morgan Plus 4. Will do. Give me 1 second. There we go. Morgan Plus 4. Ooh, that's nice. I like that old styling too. I forget what the name of the company is that has them out there. Let's see. That's not going to do. Let's try this one. See, because all of them are going to like the thumbnail size. So that's one of the problems. There we go. Let's see if we can get it now. Excellent. And here we go. There we go. Morgan Plus 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those are pretty slick.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, is that one of the kit cars or is that an actual production car? Let's Let's see. Okay, and your Jaguar was the coupe. Okay. Oh heck yeah, Gary! Firebirds, come on! I want a Smokey and the Bandit Firebird. That's what I
Yep.
want. And if you notice tonight, I'm keeping in the tradition with our pal Clearwater Chad and making sure we got a nice loud shirt on.
Very good.
Let's see. There's a guy around here who drives in a Lamborghini Aventador. When they were filming one of the they filmed two of the Transformer movies, part of them right in the they used a docking area in our city for the Transformer movie. And there's an old let me see if I can find a picture of it. There used to be an amusement park that was called Boblo Island. Just it was on the other side of the river in Amherst, Ontario, and their boats are still they're in really bad shape, but they used them in the Transformer movies as a what was crazy was they made it look like the boat had blown up, and they did nothing because they put stuff on there to make it, to blow off the boat, but that's the boat there. And it was crazy. They had hired us to do security for the actual filming of the movie. And it was hilarious because people were calling in. It sounds like a war zone down by the river. What's going on? Because, they had all the fake machine guns and everything else. But they, it was crazy because the director, and it wasn't the big, I forget, Michael Bay, I think was the big director, but they had the second director who did the outsourcing kind of scenes where they went to different cities and everything. And he had his car brought in to be part of the movie, and it was the Lamborghini Aventador. And I actually got to have a seat in it and talk to the owner of it and everything. And it was a $600,000 car, and it felt like literally I had to bend my spine just to be able to sit in that thing. I didn't like it at all. So let's see. Peace and love. Yay. Usually can find all UCC varieties in stores. I asked a little country store that I can walk to, and nice. Wow, that's nice. Yeah, if you can get them in, oh man, I'd love it. I drink that stuff like it's crack almost. I can't get enough of it. And we had talked about that last time. The Walmart always shows it that they have it, but then you get to the store and they don't have it in stock, and they tell you, oh, you got to order that. That's the problem I've been having. So we have a very large Japanese population here in metropolitan Detroit. A lot of them come over for the automotive industry. So we have some really nice Japanese markets that have been opening up. We have a huge one called H Mart, which is a Korean market. And I just went out there with my daughter the other day, and they have just amazing selections of Korean food. They didn't have much on the Japanese side, but the one I go to is called One World Market in Novi, Michigan. They're wonderful people, and I love going in there and talking to them. And just, it's nice for me because everybody knows I absolutely love Japan, and when I'm here, I miss it quite a bit. It's just like Thailand. One of the great things is we have a local Buddhist temple around here where they do every other Sunday, they do a Thai market, and they have the food and a lot of things that you could only buy while you're in Thailand. And for me, that's just awesome. Let's see. The country store always has the other flavors. Yep. For me, I just like the black. I don't like sugar in my coffee. I don't like cream in it. Just a straight up black. That's the way I like my coffee. And that's how any coffee. I don't do any of the sweet or the flavored coffees or anything like that. So, folks, we are at 1 hour 45 minutes now. Chad, you got anything else you want to add in on this?
No, not right now, Paul.
Okay. Okay. Lady Veritas says that the Morgan is a kit car. Yeah. And there's what was that one they had here in America? I don't know if it was in America or not. It was a really big. Let's see. There we go. Excalibur. Have you ever seen those, Chad?
No, let's see if you could pull it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it right here.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
These,
Yeah.
and if you're able to get your hands on one, I understand they're just incredibly expensive to buy one, that's already been put together. But a lot of people really, really dug those. I think they're kind of slick looking.
Yeah, they are. Very nice.
So, but what was weird to me is how this whole back end looked, because the front of it looks like, one of those big exclusive cars like the old Bugattis or something like that from the 30s or 40s or whatever. But the back end of it just looked like they just, somebody slapped together a microwave stand or something there. It just didn't seem to fit in with the rest of the styling of the car for them. So I really didn't care for those too much. I liked the front end of them, liked the way they looked, but I just never knew how they drove or anything like that. Let's see here. If you're ever back in Germany, Dusseldorf should have some great Asian food selection. Yeah, I plan on making it back there. The thing for me is that trying to plan out everything, because I'm looking at not too long after doing the 6-country tour on a motorcycle in Southeast Asia, going down to South America, doing some work. I can't really go too much into it, but it's with one of the channels that I'd worked with previously doing animal work. And we want to go down and take a look at some of the hippos down there in Colombia that had been released when Escobar, everything got taken over by the government, and then going into Brazil, and we're looking for several different species of venomous snake while we're there. One of the things I was doing when I was over in Malaysia this last time was we were out working with king cobras and working on getting specimen from several different countries, getting blood samples from them, skin samples, tissue samples, because the whole purpose of it was cataloging them and showing that each geographic area literally had its own DNA footprint. So each snake, you say a Burmese king cobra as compared to a Thai king cobra, compared to an Indian king cobra, would have different DNA sets to them. So that's what we were doing there. And unfortunately, yours truly ended up getting malaria while I was there, and then had to come on back home because of it. But that's what happened with that. And that's what actually led me into the infamous banning from the Tokyo Ideal org while I was there. So it was some good stuff. But folks, as I said, we're coming up on an hour and 50 minutes here, and I hope everyone's had a good time. I want to start making this. If you're up for it, let's start doing this as a weekly thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And start building a better audience on it. I think you all have been great. I love sharing with each and every one of you. I love hearing your stories. Chad, you've got some great stuff going on there. Your addiction to electric cars is kind of bothering, but what are we going to do about that?
We'll get you there, bro.
But folks, as always, thank you so very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, we wouldn't be doing this. So, and it doesn't matter to me if I've got one person watching or 1,000 people watching at a time. As long as someone's there and they want to be part of it, I want to be here and share it with you. So, as always, life is short. We only get one shot at it. So make it count, folks.